Prices. Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Sinead Aherne. Today's top stories. The CEO of a Waterford charity says online abuse has become normalised. Leo Varadkar thinks he'll be the leader of the opposition when the dust settles on government formation talks. Thieves are stealing car parts from older Toyotas in Waterford. And in sport, Thomas Barr is in 400 metre action in Athlone tonight. The CEO of a Waterford children's charity fears the level of abuse being directed at certain individuals online could have fatal consequences. Brendan Halligan from Children's Group Link says online abuse has become normalised in society. One message sent to Fianna Fáil TD Mary Butler during the election campaign encouraged her to self-harm. She also issued a statement yesterday saying she's been the victim of a smear campaign. Brendan Halligan spoke to Maria McCann on Daisha today.
Someday, I'm telling you now, there's going to be an incident occur where somebody, either a politician or somebody else, there's going to be where somebody is going to take their own life or something dramatic happens and everyone will be crying out and everyone will be phoning this programme and saying it's outrageous, where are we gone society? It'll be too late for that family. And it's had to be too late for hundreds of families.
He says nobody has the right to abuse someone because they hold a different view.
Absolutely. Hold people to account. That is okay to hold someone to account. It is not okay to have a go off someone because of the way they look, because, to encourage them to self-harm, because of their sexuality, because they might have a religious belief, because they have a view different to you. You do not have the right to abuse them and encourage self-harm or encourage abuse or encourage violence. There's people online encouraging violence against other people. What kind of mentality is that?
Leo Varadkar suggested he thinks the next government will be a coalition between Sinn Féin and Fianna Fáil. The Taoiseach says he believes he'll be the leader of the opposition when the negotiations are done. Our political correspondent Sean Defoe reports.
Fine Gael's had some time to lick its wounds over the last few days, and this morning Leo Varadkar said he hasn't even tried to contact any other parties about trying to form a government.
I think the likelihood is at the end of this process that I'll be the leader of the opposition, and obviously that will require my new parliamentary party still wanting me to do that. I will want to do that.
That suggests he thinks a Sinn Féin Fianna Fáil coalition's on the cards, but Micheál Martin's party is bitterly divided on whether or not to do business with Sinn Féin. In the meantime, Mary Lou McDonald's trying to form a left-leaning government of her own. She met the Green Party leader Eamon Ryan this morning and People Before Profit's Richard Boyd Barrett, who says a leftist government is unlikely but possible.
When People Before Profit said at the beginning of this campaign it was possible to break the cycle of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael and create a left-wing government, people laughed at us, but that became the narrative of the election.
Labour's parliamentary party meets this afternoon, and the Social Democrats met with its expanded presence of 6 TDs earlier. Co-leader Roisin Shortall says they'll meet other parties tomorrow.
I would stress that we're not anywhere close to negotiations at this point. These are exploratory talks that we're participating in.
So most of the parties are still shadow boxing, expecting it to be a long time before any government is formed. Sean Defoe, Leinster House.
A new report's found staff shortages at many of the country's maternity hospitals. The Health Information and Quality Authority says midwives are working onerous rosters and that it isn't sustainable or safe in the long term. HIQA also found that mothers and babies are at risk of infection because of the layout and structure of some maternity units. Phil Hay from the Irish Nurses and Midwives Organisation says midwives are under a lot of pressure.
The big issue is the issue that caused nurses and midwives actually to go on strike largely was that we cannot have a system whereby we have scientific recommendations for staffing levels and then the employer doesn't implement them, because we're either going to work towards a safe system or we're not.
Gardaí in Waterford are warning the owners of older Toyota cars to be on the lookout for thieves who are stealing car parts. They're targeting catalytic converters from Yaris models. Over the last few days, several have been stolen from the Summerhill and Dominic's Place areas, while in the last 2 months, converters have been taken from cars in various areas throughout the city. Any information can be given to Waterford Gardaí on 051 305 300. A Dublin-based company has developed a rapid test to check for the coronavirus. The illness has killed over 1,000 people and affected almost 45,000, while almost 4,000 people on board a cruise ship in Japan will remain in quarantine for another 7 days. Kim Buckley reports.
A rapid test for coronavirus developed by a Dublin-based company could be on the global market within months. Hybrigenes developed the 10-minute test that checks for the illness with results available within an hour. CEO Simone Esposito says the test can be done where the patient's located and the results don't have to go to a lab.
Hands-on time for preparation is typically less than 10 minutes and results are provided within 60 minutes. Also, our tests need to be done by a laboratory professional, but can be carried out even in non-medicalised facilities.
Coronavirus has killed over 1,000 people at Worthing Hospital, where one of the 8 confirmed UK cases worked. Patients and staff are being told not to panic.
I have had one member of staff who's precautionally phoned in, but I'm not too concerned at the moment.
It's like one case, but then, one case could spread.
Meanwhile, almost 4,000 people, including an Irish couple on board a cruise ship in Japan, are to remain quarantined in their cabins for another 7 days. For the past week, they've been served 3 meals a day to their room. The cruise company's dropping off quizzes and Sudoku. They can watch TV and movies and have to take their temperature a number of times a day.
Storm Dennis is expected to bring wet and windy conditions when it reaches Ireland this week. Met Éireann says the weather will get worse from Friday and status orange warnings could be issued. Forecaster Siobhan Ryan says counties in the south, west and northwest will be hit hardest.
Certainly as of Friday we're going to see a deterioration in our weather, and a marked one over this weekend, particularly on Sunday with the highest winds at that point, and right through the weekend there will be spells of wet weather ×2.
University Hospital Waterford is encouraging their employees to look after their own health. They're holding a staff wellbeing day in their new Dunmore wing. Elaine Anderson is the HR manager at the hospital.
So today is our staff wellbeing day and we're holding it over in the Dunmore wing. I suppose it gives people the opportunity to come see what the Dunmore wing is if they haven't already been over to visit it, and it's also for the staff here today. So we have everything from women's health to men's mental health. We also have BMI checks, blood pressures. So it's an opportunity for all the staff to come over and see what we as the staff ourselves have provided, because all the vendors here today are actually our own staff as well. So this is totally run by UHW here today.
These staff members are impressed.
It's marvellous altogether, yeah. It highlights things to you that you need to maybe address, We're the worst, yeah. You look after everybody else, but probably not ourselves, or give ourselves enough time to do it,
To have my blood pressure, blood sugar and oxygen saturation tested. So it's fantastic, yeah. It's really good. It's been really good. Great attendance and everyone's here. So it's fantastic.
And one cup of coffee can make all the difference. That's the message from Waterford businesswoman Melo Power on the reusable coffee cup company Monkey Cups. Monkey Cups is nominated as Waterford's best new business at this year's Waterford Business Awards. Melo Power hopes she can get the message of sustainability to even more people this year.
The awards are a fantastic opportunity for us, to tell our story, to tell about manufacturing in Waterford and job creation, but also to encourage other people to maybe look in their workplace and see what can we do. Because each Monkey Cup, through statistics, is used every year 448 times. So if you take 10 people, that's actually 4,400. So even, one cup can make a difference.
WLR Sport. With thanks to the Waterford Viking Marathon. Register now at waterfordvikingmarathon.com.
Starting with athletics, where Waterford's Thomas Barr will have his only race of the indoor season this evening at the AIT Grand Prix in Athlone. It won't be his favourite event though. It'll be the 400 metres flat instead of the hurdles. He'll face 3-time world and European champion at that distance, Pavel Masklak of Czech Republic, and last year's European indoor bronze medalist Tony van Diepen of the Netherlands. Niamh Whelan is also in action this evening. She goes in the 60 metres. The meeting starts at 6:30. To soccer, where Waterford FC will get their Premier League campaign up and running on Friday night with a new look squad. The Blues are away to St Patrick's Athletic. Former underage player Kevin O'Connor has returned on loan from Preston North End.
Yeah, it'd be huge. Look, that's obviously the aim. We've 3 tough games to start the season. You couldn't have got much tougher. But thankfully we've 2 of them at home. But look, that first game is always, it's a bit mad. Everybody's pumped up on adrenaline, fans, players, everything. So it could go either way. But we trust in the group that we have there that we'll be ready to go and give it our best go by the time it comes around on the 14th.
WLR will broadcast Friday's game live thanks to Clem Jacob Hire with commentary team of Matt Keane and Gavin Whelan. Coverage starts at 7:30. In rugby, Leinster's Caelan Doris and Ulster's Will Addison have linked up with the Irish squad for their training camp in Cork. Addison missed the first 2 games through injury, while Doris sat out last weekend's win over Wales with a head injury suffered in the opening day victory against Scotland. Peter O'Mahony impressed in Doris's absence against Wales, and former Ireland back row Stephen Ferris thinks the Munster captain could keep his place for the trip to England.
You know, the physicality and that enforcer that Pete brings. Maybe you need a character like that in the dressing room, not just on the pitch, but in the dressing room in the lead up to this big match against England, because we all know it's everything for England. You know, if they don't win this, it's completely bust. Where Ireland, you know, I think can take a bit more out of it. So for me, I think personally that Andy Farrell will go with Peter O'Mahony and have Doris on the bench.
Sports news on WLR is thanks to WaterfordVikingMarathon.com.